All right, let's go and get started, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Joey Betts podcast here. We are going to cook up a couple plays. Basically, we're going to go ahead and look at a couple plays that we have today. I got a Flex Friday pick that I have for you guys. We're going to run through all these players on our own. I haven't looked at any of the bets going into it, so we're going to go into it together, and basically we're going to see what platforms I use throughout, and then how to take advantage of these discounts and these promos that you get, right? So looking at it today, what I want to do is I want to run a Flex Friday pick, and it's going to be on Prize Picks. Everyone knows a lot about it. Prize Picks is not it's not something I really like using too much. I really like Underdog Fantasy a lot more, but we're gonna go ahead and stick with Prize Picks because of the fact that you have a protected play on Prize Picks. So you put the $20 down, which there's already 20 in the account. After this $20, if you lose it, basically it gets refunded in your bonus bets. If you win anything off of it, the winnings become yours, right? So we're gonna opt in. You always gotta opt in, right? You're gonna come over to the board, and you're gonna see everyone's favorite picks for today. And that's one thing. I mean, it's good to know, very good to know, but it's very much something to watch out for because this is what the public is betting on, especially with basketball as of late. The public has not been right. It just hasn't been correct. And then you'll see with prize picks, there's no such thing as any middle line. It's going to be 24 and a half or 30 and a half for Luka Doncic, right? So there's a lot of room for error. So just be careful when you're running with prize picks. We're going to go over a couple picks today too. So going straight into it, I want to go into the baseball lineup for today. Um, for let's go to the 25th. Last couple lineups that we've had, I've thrown some YouTube shorts out there. We have the Instagram stories that we do daily. Missed by one hit run and RBI 2 days straight. Would have got us about $150. So we're looking into cashing in today. That's the biggest thing is cashing in, right? So what I usually do, and I love doing this, I go over to Switch Analytics or any other platform, analytics platform that you can get your hands on. Honestly, I use Switch Analytics because it's free. I honestly don't pay too much for the outlier. And then big time with outlier, it's all right. I love it to bet on their last 5 games, their last 6 games. A player's hot, right? But at the end of the day, I really think about it as matchups. There's just some pitchers that players can hit better. There's just some defenses that shooters shoot better at. And then also, like when it comes down to football, there's just better matchups involved, right? So this is what we're going to go to. And what I like to look at is the average, right? I look at the average. You can also filter out the hits. This will be deceiving if the fact that, he has 24 hits in he has 5 hits, right? But in 24 at bats. So it's still a 208 average against Chris Sale. And then he has 8 strikeouts. So, like, even looking at that, right? You can even go over and filter out the pitcher, and it'll show you how many strikeouts this pitcher has against this team and what it looks like, right? Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. That way you guys see it. There you go. So, looking at it today, what we want to do is we're going to filter by average, right? Filter by average. We got JJ Bleday. And then also take a look at these 1,000 averages. The 1,000 averages are going to be plate appearances mostly. Once you look at this, look at Michael A. Taylor against Luis Severino. This is 4 for 5 with the homer, right? So that's something to keep a very close eye on. We can go over to Michael A. Taylor and see how he's been doing during the regular season. That's always something to keep an eye on, too. These are career numbers. So if he hasn't been doing very good in the regular season, there's really no reason to pick him, right? So going over to Michael Taylor, 157 average with 1 home run and 2 RBI. You don't want to take him. You don't want to touch his line, right? Going into it, let's bring this over here. All right, cool. Um, you got Cody Bellinger against Jose Barrios, which is, I mean, Cody Bellinger hasn't been too bad this year. Um, haven't really been following him too much. Let's see what the Yankees are doing today. Um, honestly, I really like to take hitters more so your Marcus Semiens, um, your Ben Rices, your Jacob Wilsons, right? Your hitters, the people that get on base, and I'd go for hits, runs, RBIs because you have three chances there to get something right. You can get someone to walk, score a run. You can get someone to basically pop fly, sacrifice RBI, or you could just get the basic hit, right? So I really like hit, run, and RBI. Unless it's a player that really walks a lot, then you want to take fantasy score, right? So bat versus pitch, you've got your 382 against Judge. Judge sees him often. 34 at bats, 13. You have 11 RBIs. So Judge has 5 homers, 11 RBIs. I mean, it wouldn't be bad if you want to throw it in there. Aaron Judge for a home run doesn't sound too bad right now. But looking at it, we're talking about Cody Bellinger, and Cody Bellinger against right-handed pitching. So you want to see how he's been doing on the season, 177 average. So you already want to stay away from him. But also how you can check the splits and see how he does against right-handed pitching, 131 against the 333 he has against lefties, right? So we don't want to touch this. Maybe Bellinger just has a thing for Jose Barrios, but at the end of the day, lefty lefty matchup. I mean, righty righty matchup. I'm sorry, it's not going to end very well. Especially with the average being at where it's at. You got Judge batting 415, 7 homers, 26 RBI. Look at his bat versus pitch. He hits 316 off of the team, right? Off of Toronto. And then looking at it against right-handed pitchers, he hits 397, 476 against lefties. This guy's raking, right? What you'll see is I'm sure of it. I'm almost 100,000% sure that when you type in Judge, you're only going to see a goblin pick, right? Or a set run line at 2.5, right? Um, I like it. Me personally, I really like the Judge 2.5. We can go 1.5 for the sake of winning, right? Of being safe and winning this out. That means he gets a single RBI, he gets a single and then a sac fly later in the game. He hits a bomb. He hits a bomb. That's 3.5, right? So you're going in between that 2.5 and 3.5, and price picks. Of course, they're not going to have that 3.5, right? So looking at it, we got Judge in there. That's a filler pick. We'll fill that in. That's fine. Julio Rodriguez gets Cal Quantrill. 6 for 11. 4 singles, 2 bombs, right? Let's check out Julio Rodriguez has been doing. Um, it's always something to check. You gotta check, and that's what I'd advise too. These are picks that I just want to shoot over to you guys, but I'd always advise to do your homework, extra homework if you have it. Um, you know, that way you guys see everything that's going on. So Cal Quantrill, left-handed batter, throws righty, but the who is it? Who are we playing against? The Mariners hit 155 off of him, which is very terrible. Uh, Julio Rodriguez has been hitting 202. Look at his game log. See how he's been doing these last few games. Brought his 179 average up to that 202. He got 1 hit, 2 hits and a run, 1 hit. Uh, it's not something you want to trust. I mean, it looks nice. It looks nice on paper, but it's something where you want to keep an eye on. Um, let's see. Oh, pitcher matchups are not very good today. Look at this. Francisco Lindor against Jake Irvin. A lot of familiarity there. So there's a lot of plate appearances between the Mets and the Nationals because of the fact that they play each other a lot. right? That's pretty simple. 345. We got Jake Irvin, right-handed pitcher, going up against the Mets, and we got Francisco Lindor hitting 500 off of him, right? Hitting 500 off of him. You have the 309 average on the season. Bat versus pitch, he hits 246 against the rest of the team. So you want to keep an eye on that. Um, 2 hits, 1 run. 3 hits, 1 run. 2 hits, 2 runs. 3 hit. All right. So this guy's on a rake. He's on a hitting streak and he's on a spree, right? So Lindor and Judge, very trustworthy. Um, so look, 1.5 hit run and RBI. You're not gonna make much off of that. Even though um, we can take, I don't even think we could take two. We can take two. One thing I like to do is that if the 1.5 hit run and RBI is a goblin right here, what I like to do is check where it's at with. Let's see where Lindor's at right here. Still 2.5. You know what? At the end of the day, we may end up just switching those out, dropping them into 2.5s. But for right now, let's go ahead, like we said, for the sake of winning, right? We're gonna keep going. Um, let's see. We had another one up here. JD Davis. I don't think JD Davis is playing. Angels, Minnesota. So looking at this one, you got Pablo Lopez against Kyle Hendricks. Pretty good pitching matchup. I mean, you got Pablo Lopez, 6 Ks, 5 Ks, 3 Ks. Not as much strikeouts as what he's had last year. But let's go ahead and check out Hendricks against the lineup. Um, Trevor Larnach, Harrison Bader, a lot of familiarity there. Okay, the lineup hits 327 off of him, right? So it's a pretty rough. It's gonna be a pretty rough day for Kyle Hendricks. Twins are gonna get on top of him very quickly, um, so keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's keep going here. Brendan Doyle. I love this pick. Honestly, Brendan Doyle has been hitting the ball amazing. Brendan Doyle, Jacob Wilson, Corbin Carroll, those three right there in their own have been raking the ball as of late. And you can add Ben Rice in there as well. But just those three, you want to check them out. Even Corbin Carroll, he's not going up against righty today. He's going up against Chris Sale, which is a little different. But we've said it all week. Corbin Carroll against right-handed pitchers and at home, he's hitting about 386, 19 runs and 19 RBI. This guy is breaking at home against right-handed pitching. So, also with Jacob Wilson, just got a walk-off hit yesterday. The guy makes contact. He makes contact every game. Every game you see him on base. You see him getting the hits, runs, and then even yesterday with the RBI, right? 1 for 2 against Sean Burke, and then look at his game log: 1 hit, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 RBI, 0 for 4, right? This is crazy. This guy started off the season, went 338, got up to a 400 average, right? 400 average. Slowed down a little bit, but still 354, 337, 337. All right, so we're looking at him to have a great game. Him against Jacob Wilson, looking at it against right-handed pitching, he's 333, and then at home he's 333 as well. So Sean Burke, from what I understand, he's a right-handed pitcher. We're gonna go Jacob Wilson as well. Let's go ahead and keep on running them through. We're gonna go Wilson, 1.5 hit running RBI, and then what did we say? We said we liked Brendan Doyle, and I really do like Brendan Doyle going up as long as he's healthy. That's something to keep an eye on. Uh, let's see, Andrew Abbott. He's been doing fine, but I've seen Andrew Abbott give up some games. All right. Um, Brendan Doyle, 4 for 8, double, home run, RBI, 3 Ks, and a walk. Right. So Brendan Doyle, Like I said, 300 average, 864 ops. Game log here. He's dropped his 321 average to 300, but ever since the start of April, he's went up from 250 to 321, right? So looking at it, what does that mean? He hits the ball. One, you have a run here. You have 0 for 1, so that means he didn't really play that game. Four hits, one hit, three hits, one hit, one hit, one hit, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 7 game hitting streak. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 10. He's scoring runs in all of them, right? So we want Brendan Doyle. I really like this pick. Brendan Doyle going up against Andrew Abbott, who I mean, I just don't see it. And of course, like I said, Brendan Doyle's not going to be on here. Um, Something to take a look at. This is something you want to run on Underdog as well. Brendan Doyle will be there. He'll be there on Underdog, right? So you keep that in mind. Um, we're gonna keep on throwing the goblins in there. I mean, right now a flex play gets us $60 off of 20. Apologies, everybody. Um, so we wanna add a couple more. We're gonna add a couple more to this Flex Friday pick, and hopefully the winning picks. Um, Austin Riley against Zach Gallen, 385 average, 5 for 13. Let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper into this one. Austin Riley, Atlanta, Arizona. That game's gonna be a good one, a very good one. Honestly, I can see it going over, depending on what the line is at. 8.5, of course it is. Over 7.5, I would take it, but 8.5 is pretty sturdy. Jared Kalenic, and then you got Austin Riley, 296 average, 6 home runs, 16 RBI, game log, 1 hit, 1 for 4, 3 for 4, 2 for 3. We're gonna go Austin Riley, right? Because he has been on a little roll lately. Hopefully they'll let us get the 1.5 hit run in RBI. Let's let's see. Of course they won't. So we'll keep on killing them with goblin picks. Right now we're at 20 for 60. And we have one more pick under our belt right now, and this is what we're gonna go with. Let's see if we can get Austin Riley on hitter fantasy score. There we go. I'll take him on hitter fantasy score. I don't mind that. That flex makes it up to 80. Let's see what Doyle, if we can get Doyle on hitter fantasy score as well. Hitter fantasy score, if it's anything under a 5.5, a singles 3 runs, a singles 3 on hitter fantasy, and your RBI is 3 as well. So it's something where, if it's under 5.5, I'll take it every day. Let's see where Lindor is on his hitter fantasy. Lindor and Judge may be in the 7.5 range, 8.5 range, 7.5, of course. But he said it. He's hit in the last 4, and he does good against a pitcher. I mean, maybe you do take the right there. And right now, that brings our lineup up to $80, right? They took a play away. They took Brendan Doyle away. Let's see. Why did they take Brendan Doyle away? That's the question. Throw him back in there. That right there is $120. And you've got a lot of simple. It's very simple. You got Judge going 1.5 hit running RBI. You got Lindor hitting his hitting his hitter fantasy score. Honestly, even without Lindor hitting his hitter fantasy score, you can even add you had someone like Jose Altuve going against Seth Lugo. Honestly, you get him for a hit, that's another 150. Paul Skeens going up against the Dodgers today. That's going to be an amazing game. Honestly, it's something I really wouldn't bet on, but you know, let's see. Out of curiosity, I got to see what Skeens K's looks like. 4.5. Yeah, I can see him getting a lot more than 4.5. All right, let's go ahead and focus. Okay, we got 20 for 120 right now, and it's five legs. So you got Aaron Judge, Jacob Wilson, Austin Riley, Francisco Lindor, and Brent Doyle. All right, so we're gonna run this. We're gonna keep it at the 120 right here. We're gonna keep it safe. Honestly, if there's any other pick I would throw in there, I would throw in Skeens, and you throw in Skeens, it's 160 on the 5Ks. I don't think there's ever been a game in this guy's life where he's thrown 5Ks. I think everything's been 7 and over. But let's double check. Let's make sure we do our homework here. Bat versus pitch. Yeah, 250. Andy Paez. Andy Paez is the one. Teoscar Hernandez as well. Hit a bomb off of him. Game log. 4Ks, 6Ks, 7Ks, 6Ks. I mean, the Dodgers, they strike out. They strike out, but they can get on. They can get a hold of one too. Um, Anything worth looking at? Anthony Volpe against Jose Barrios. Ozzy Albies against Zach Gallen. Let's go ahead and double check just in case we want to throw in something. Throw something out there. Let's go Volpe. Volpe is 198 average. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to stay safe. We're going to run the flex play at 160. We're going to take Skeens out of there. We're going Brenton Doyle over half a hit and run an RBI. We're going Francisco Lindor, 7.5 hitter fantasy score. Austin Riley, 5.5 hitter fantasy score. Jacob Wilson, 1.5 hit run an RBI. And Aaron Judge, 1.5 hit run an RBI. And let me go ahead and show you guys what hmm, go ahead and show you guys what the lineup comes out to. All right, it's gonna come out to 120. This is gonna be a flex play that you're gonna get your money back if you lose. Right, so we're gonna submit it through, and then you're gonna see, okay, the 20 is gonna disappear, and then when you look at your lineup, it'll say protected play, right? That means your funds are protected. You're good. There's your baseball pick for today. These picks, I really like them. I really like all of them at 1.5 hit running RBI, but there's some platforms out there like Prize Picks that doesn't offer things like that, right? Real quick, we're gonna go ahead and go into the Laker game tonight because honestly, with everything going on, um, the Pacers are tearing it up. I put a lot of trust in Damian Lillard in the last game, and it really bit me in the ass for it. So I'm not gonna put too much trust in Damian Lillard. One thing I realized though in these last couple games is that there's a shooter on the Pacers that he has been going off. Let me see. Let's go ahead get into this box score. It's Nembhard. It's Andrew Nembhard. 17 points even these last two games, right? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go Andrew Nembhard over 10.5 points, right? Bam. There it is. Then we're going to go away from this. Or you know what? What else can we do? We can go Let's see what Price Picks has Nemhard at. Probably 11 points even. It'll probably be 11 points even because Price Picks doesn't like to give you your money. 10.5. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get into this Laker game. I love the Lakers winning. Minnesota's going to be favored because they're at home. It's their first home game. They think they're going to take the series, but the way the Lakers played defense last game was very suffocating. And I didn't see anyone from the Timberwolves really be able to get free. Julius Randle had a great game. Anthony Edwards had a good game. I mean, those are locks. I can see why Julius Randle thinks this is a very good season, but I don't think the Lakers think about him like that anymore. So I don't see it happening. Nas Reed with 9 points. What, he had 4 fouls all game. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. Luka the Don and LeBron, right? LeBron with 18 points and assists. I mean, not assists and rebounds, right? Those are the ones I'm looking at. As we can see in this series, Luka's gonna take over. Luka's just gonna take over the Rock. It no longer looks like LeBron is the top offensive option in this team, right? But assists and rebounds, this guy is rebounding the ball. This guy is dishing the ball at a major high. Honestly, the way that they pass, the way that both of them pass, also Austin Reeves. I mean, LeBron over 14 rebounds and assists. I could see him having a triple double. If not, if he hasn't had it already, I can see him already getting it today. Um, Austin Reeves on points, but let's see what Reeves is at. Not at 18.5, but at 15.5. I'll take him at 15.5 points, right? Now, Austin Reeves, he scored 16 points in the last two games, right? So it's something that, Prize Picks would do to put his line at 18.5 because he hasn't even scored 18.5 against that team, right? 5-5. Um, I really don't like the Reeves pick. Um, I would rather go somewhere else with this. Luka rebounds. Luka rebounds is great, but knowing Prize Picks, they'll probably have him at 11.5. Sorry, Luka 9. That's not bad. Luka with 9 rebounds. Yeah, I'm at 24.5 points. He's hit it almost every game. That's a good Goblin pick. He'll probably have 24.5 in the first quarter. In the first half, I'm sorry. So we're going to go ahead and run with that. We have Andrew Nemhard over 10.5 points. And let's see what Giannis rebounds looks like. Because Giannis, I mean, what we can guarantee is that Damian Lillard's gonna throw up shots. 13 rebounds, that's a lot. Damian Lillard's gonna throw up shots and he's not gonna make them. Right? It's just not gonna happen. We're not gonna touch Lillard on this one. We're gonna take a look at his assists. But if you touch Lillard, just go with assists. Don't do yourself a favor and don't disappoint yourself with this guy. He's just not worth it. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. We need one more pick. We need one more pick to fill in this slip, and then we're adios, amigos. So, what we're going to run is this Boston. Be very careful with this game. Careful with this game. One thing I like is Banchero points, 32, right? His points are probably going to be ridiculous, but at the end of the day, he's the only option that they really have. He's hit in the last two games, but watch out. Watch out. He had 15 points against Boston before. Let's go ahead and look at Jaylen Brown. Depending on the health of Jason Tatum today, Jaylen Brown is going to be the top option, right? Um, let's double check to see if Tatum's even in there. Let's get out of here. What I like to do too is I like to go to the NBA. I like to go to the schedule, and then I like to go to the specific game. This is the game we're looking at, and you have popular picks, but you have all the picks as well. Um, Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard points 24 and a half. Wow. Wow. That is something, right? 24 and a half is a lot. One thing you don't see up here is Jason Tatum. So Jaylen Brown points looks nice. Really nice. 18 and a half. That's another look at right here. 10 for 45, right? Not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. We go another 20, that's $90, right? So I want to add one more, but at the end of the day, it doesn't look like we really need to. Let's see. For shits and gigs, we're going to go ahead and check the box score. And we're going to find out that Banchero's a good assister as well. 3.5 assists is low. Very low. That's a good filler pick as well. That right there on a power play is 10 for 60 and 20 for 120. So we're going to do the 20. We're going to throw another 20 out there. Now, this is not a flex play. This is a power play. So you have to get all of them correct, right? So with the Friday protected play, your flex would look like $60, right? Or if you put 20 in it. So today we're going to go Nemhard, 10.5 points. LeBron James, 14 rebounds and assists. Luka the Don, 24.5 points. Jaylen Brown, 18.5 points. And then Paolo Banchero with 4 assists. Go ahead and drop a dub in here. Let's see. 20. Going to the board, back to the board, over to the 5 players we selected. So that's two 5-player slips, one for basketball, one for baseball. We're going to go ahead and run this. There's possibility out there. There's a lot of possibility. We hit both of our lineups. There's 240 in play, right? So going over it, these are the picks. We're going to go with the NBA lineup. Andrew Nemhard, 10.5 points against Milwaukee. LeBron James, 14 rebounds and assists. Luka Doncic, 24.5 points. Jaylen Brown, 18.5 points. Paolo Banchero, 3.5 assists, right? Over. We're going like this in our baseball bet. We have Aaron Judge, over 1.5 hit run and RBI. We got Jacob Wilson, over 1.5 hit run and RBI. 5.5 hitter fantasy score for Austin Riley. We ended up going lower. We ended up going lower on Francisco Lindor, which is something we didn't want to do. I would honestly pick higher, definitely. And then we went Brendan Doyle on hits, runs, and RBIs, right? So you guys take a look. I always say take a look, take a pick. It's something to look at. It's maybe a different aspect than what you guys were looking at today. Add them to your plays. Take a look. Take a pick. And